So this morning we're talking with somebody that I actually went to high school with. I went to high school with him, and then I ended up working with him at the sandwich shop, which was crazy, about a book that was just written. It's called Black Winter, and Beauregard M Neville and Cole Neville. So tell me a little bit about how you guys came up with the concept for this book.
Black Winter was kind of it's been a long project. Since the beginning of when we started working on it, it's been almost 12 years.
I was gonna say 12 years.
Yeah. So I started working on the book alone right after I got married, and I got married in September of 2008. I think I began on the book in 2009 in January. Mm-hmm. And, initially when I started working on this book, I just kind of had a very vague idea, really. I had a soldier and his dog. And then I just kind of started writing over the course of several months, and then it just kind of gradually grew into more. And then a couple years later, Cole came on board, and he started reading it and kind of giving me feedback. And I didn't have really much of a story still at the time. And we would always just talk and brainstorm ideas of where we could take the story beyond that. And then, eventually it was like, you know what, Cole, you've pretty much been a part of this for a long time. I think it's time for you just to come on board and just be a partner with me on the book. And then it took about, I don't know, what do you think, Cole? 4, maybe 5 years before we had not only a full, complete story for book one, but where we knew where we wanted to go for a series as well.
Yeah, I'd say that was when we finally actually started getting a full story, not just an idea.
Right.
So is this something that you guys have always wanted to do, is right?
That's been a passion of mine since I was a kid. I mean, I can remember even back when I was in grade school, and I'd be doodling stories in my notebooks in class. And then I got to the point where I was more serious about it. Probably my senior year in high school, I took a fiction writing. I went to Mountain Crest High School, mm-hmm. and they offered a fiction writing class my senior year, and I took it and had to write a short story in the class. And that's just kind of always been a passion for mine. Our dad writes too, and he's also always been kind of some inspiration for me too. And so, yeah, I mean, for me, it's definitely been a lifelong dream to be able to write and publish a book.
I'd say the same for me. I mean, it's funny is I hated English classes when I had to write papers, but being able to write my own stories and stuff like that, something I've always been good at, and I've always enjoyed doing growing up. And like Bo said, our dad, he's written several books, and reading those growing up was kind of always like, oh, this would be cool to do. I always thought, Bo had a story and stuff like that, and it was going to be, he was going to be someone that wrote, and I helped here and there. And like he said, we just worked together forever, and then it kind of became just a dream of both of ours to get this book series and see what we could do.
So when it comes down to strategizing for you guys, what does that look like? Do you guys have a cork board up, and then you put your different pieces and stuff up like that, or?
Honestly, if we had done that for book one, it probably wouldn't have taken 12 years to work on.
It would have been done 10 years ago. I vividly remember shopping at a grocery store in Las Vegas, and Bo and I wrote the story in our heads, just talking of well, we could do this and this, and we just literally, and that was how it unfolded. But getting all of those ideas onto a paper took 12 years.
Definitely. Yeah. And we've kind of come up with a plan on how we want to, finish the series, because we know we've written the beginning and the endings to the 3 sequel books as well. Mm-hmm. But what we want to do is actually sit down and do what you basically just described, and actually plan out each chapter before we actually begin writing them. Mm-hmm. That way it'll be so much easier to, I guess, get all of basically the middle of the book done, rather than, all right, I think this sounds good. We want to actually have a plan going forward so that it makes sense with how the book goes and how it ends, basically.
So tell me a little bit about what this book entails, what people are going to get out of it when they read it.
For me, one thing I really wanted people to get out of any story I ever write is just excitement, you know? And, I've read a lot of books where the authors are excellent writers, but their writing was maybe not as interesting. And I've read a lot of books where the the books were amazing, but not the best writing. And, you know, I don't consider myself to be an amazing writer by any chance, but I want people to read the story. I want it to be original, exciting, and keep them just hooked and wanting more to know what's going to happen further on in the story. And with Black Winter, you know, it's a dystopian future, definitely. It's in the near future, so it's not like it's 100 years away from now. I mean, it's very near in the future, and you know, there's a lot of mystery going on. The main character is he's gonna be kind of forced to question not only reality, the people that are around him, and himself, and he has to basically overcome a bunch of challenges in order to protect, you know, everyone that he cares about.
So with the questioning of themselves, do you think that was like loosely based on anybody in particular, or was it just based on something random?
Not that particular element,
Okay.
not so much. Just kind of, you know, our family, we love stories, whether it's a book or movies. We're always reading or watching something. And so I have taken personally a lot of inspiration from the different things I've watched, I've read, or even video games I've played, and tried to, you know, kind of pull little elements that I can piece together into a completely different story. Now, there are definitely going to be moments in the story that you'll read where there'll be, you know, some of the characters are inspired off of people I know. You know, the dog in the book is actually my personal dog, has the same name and everything. And, you know, so there are aspects like that where they came from actual personal experiences, but otherwise it's mostly just, you know, it's not anything related to, you know, my own personal life experiences so much.
The only thing you could say that's like related to our personal lives is the location's actually based in Utah of the book.
Cool. Yep. Well, I like that. What do you guys do to keep like your creativity fresh?
I don't know. I mean, as I said, you know, maybe it just kind of goes back to all the different things we've watched and read, and you know, there's a lot out there where it's like almost like a rip off of another thing, and so that was kind of something that we wanted to do, was just try to find something that, you know, has some certain obvious similarities that are interesting to people, but just completely different before, you know, like it's a science fiction novel, but there's even some fantasy type elements in the story too. And I haven't ever read anything that kind of combines the two so much. Usually it's just strictly fantasy or strictly science fiction. And, you know, that's kind of something that we wanted to do with the story.
And fantasies and like creativity is something for me has always been like just part of my life. When I was a little kid, coming up with crazy stories and things like that. And that's always like how I've kept myself grounded. Whenever being stressed or anything like that, I've always escaped with just stories in my head and this book and things like that. And so for me, it's literally just like creativity and stuff is just kind of a part of who I am and doing things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So when it comes to, I actually want to go back to your point, Beauregard, about taking things from other places, because I feel like that's, so many people think that that's like bad, but it's not. I don't think that's a bad thing at all, because I feel like those, you know the things that you like and you know how to be able to adapt them. Like I know, especially like for us with my job, that's something that happens a lot. You know, you take it and you adapt it to a way that it's a new spin on it. It just becomes creative. You're right. And they always say, you know, like in radio, especially, they say there are no original ideas in radio. It's just an adaptation, you know, and changing to adapt things. Do you hope that people take stuff from this book and move forward and they go on to their own type of spin-off? Not necessarily spin-off directly from the book, obviously, but like little pieces of it.
Absolutely, because if that happens, then Cole and I will know that we've succeeded in creating something that people love, you know. And you know, on your point about about how people sometimes think it's bad to kind of steal. I had a teacher in college at Weber State, and she was one of my fiction writing teachers, and she said, you know, there's a difference between plagiarizing somebody's work and I guess stealing their work. You can twist it to the point where it's completely different. You're basically taking their ideas, but you're changing them so that they're different, but still along the same line, kind of thing.
Absolutely.
So, and I think people get nervous because they're like, "Oh, am I in the realm of plagiarism?" And it's like, well, it depends. You know, if you're going to take something verbatim, then yeah, you have to give credit where it's due. But if it's changed, then you don't need to do that. So,
like you said, McCall, the radio, it's the same thing with books and movies and stuff nowadays. Like, how often is something not pieced together from something else, at least components of it and stuff with where we're at now?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just an adaptation, you know, and I feel like it kind of, you get this place of like inspiration almost inside of your brain with these conversations or books or TV shows or movies or whatever that sparks, and it's like, hey, but what if I did this? But what if they adapted it and they did this? And then you get that opportunity to redo it basically yourself, which is awesome.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of like the writing of this story, some components have totally been of like, we could take this spin but like do this instead.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's really cool. How many books are you guys expecting to do in this series?
4. And the nice thing too is, even though it's a 4-book series, there's definitely always the option where Cole and I can, you know, reach out maybe way down the line and decide to write some side stories with other characters. But the Black Winter series, based off of the main character in this book, is a 4-book series.
Awesome. So where can people find it? Where can they get the book?
Currently, right now, it's on sale on Amazon. You can get it as a paperback or an ebook.
Awesome.
Yeah, there's also a Facebook page, like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages that you can follow, and all of those have like the links straight to the Amazon page of it, because it can be with like the algorithm with Amazon and everything like that. With new books, new everything, it can be a little trickier to find just specifically searching for Black Winter on Amazon. You actually have to type in Black Winter and then our last name, Neville, to actually get it to pull up immediately without having to search through a bunch of pages.
Yeah. Are you guys going to create like where you have the group on Facebook and you have the group on Instagram, are you guys going to create like a Discord group or anything for it?
I don't know. I haven't really talked about that yet.
I would love to, but essentially it comes down to the growth of the book.
Right.
But a lot of the social media aspect is definitely like creating a Discord and stuff like that is definitely where I would be in charge of creating that, where we have our strengths and stuff like that. And so like, I would love to do a Discord on it. It would just, as it grows, you know, to get to that point. Yeah.
I think it would be awesome to be able to get you guys to do something along those lines, just because I know that there are like all sorts of different Discord chats that just like pop off and it's like, holy cow. But then you can, you know, kind of grow your following and even grow your connection with your audience as well. I think that would be awesome.
Right. No, for sure.
And along that line, something Cole and I talked about, you know, in the months just before we, you know, released the book was, you know, we really wanted to build on the Black Winter brand, basically. Yep. And to the point where everybody was excited when they heard those two words together and put it together with the cover of the book. And we knew social media was the way we were going to be able to do that. And that's the beauty about social media these days, is it makes it so much easier for people who don't already have a name to basically get out there.
Yeah. What does your guys' strategy look like? Because I love this whole conversation about branding. I could literally talk about it for like hours and hours and hours. What does your guys' social media strategy look like right now? What are you guys doing Instagram wise?
You have to ask Cole that. He's the Instagram guy.
So on Instagram, my sister-in-law is actually a photographer. And first it was just kind of showing the book and following with what Facebook was doing. But the plan, what I want to do is get my sister-in-law and get like Bo and I together and get some actual like pictures of us together and separate to do like actual author pictures through the Instagram, and then get pictures of like Maya, his dog. And so just several different like aspects of what our book was inspired by, and be able to do that on on actual Instagram. Essentially, I want to get to a point where, I mean, I can even have some like fan art or whatever drawn on there of aspects of different scenes in the book and things like that. That would be the goal. That's like the goal right now of what I want to do with Instagram.
That'd be way cool.
No, I think that would be sick. So have you guys sent your book out to people that do like book reviews or anything along those lines to try and garner some more attention from it? Because I think that would be a really good way, especially with people who have a decent sized audience. I mean, we're talking probably like 10,000 followers or something along those lines, because you kind of want to stick to those smaller micro influencers or whatever you want to call them technically, to have them read it and then maybe do a review on it or something along those lines.
That's definitely the plan. We haven't had a chance to do that yet. We've just been kind of really trying to just kind of advertise it. We tried doing like an advertising through Amazon, through Facebook, and discovered we're not in love with those at the moment. We might tweak it a little later on, but we also want to kind of start submitting the book with some book clubs as well, where they have good followings, kind of similar to what you're talking about, so that they can start just really spreading the word around about the novel and help it grow.
Yeah, I think that would be sweet. Honestly, I feel like for advertising right now, I know a ton of people are having massive success that way, especially because the audience trusts that person, because that person has been vulnerable to them and had those conversations. And so having that's going to be one of the best places, because you get the word of mouth, basically advertising from those people directly, which I think you can't beat that.
Definitely.
I think that would be sweet. I can't wait to like follow along with the whole journey of it. I think it's going to be awesome. And I do think getting some like fan art would be sick. I also think that it would just be really sweet to be like, hey, here's, Ogden, this is based on this place, or, not necessarily Ogden, but here are these pictures, and get them promoted that way. Where can people find you guys social media wise? What's your guys' handles? I mean, if you want to give out your personal, you can, or if you just want to do the Black Winter one, you can as well.
For me personally, right now, I'm only on Facebook, and you can just search my, Beauregard Neville. I'm the only one out there. That's one of the nice things about my name. Yeah. Very, very unique. So, and I think Cole's on a few more things than I am, but.
Yeah, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, technically Discord as well. I mean, I'm pretty much everything social media. I mean, we're McCall. We're definitely in that age group. Yeah. But same thing, just my name, Cole Neville on Facebook. Instagram, it's cole.neville1588. And then Twitter, the handle is crazycole34.
Perfect. Love
that.
And
then Black Winter, for Facebook, it's just Black Winter. For Twitter, it's just Black Winter. The handle is where everything's kind of taken from everything. It's got a bunch of numbers at the end. I'm attaching all the Twitter and Instagram to the Facebook. Right. But I know a lot of people don't have both. Black Winter book. It's Black_Winter_book on Instagram.
Okay.
Cool. But the Instagram and Twitter are on the Facebook links for Black Winter.
Okay, sweet. Also, one more thought. You guys should do stuff with it on TikTok. I know people are like super touchy about TikTok, but I think that you guys would have a really good following and really good attention on TikTok based on the way that everything is lined out right now, and based on the audience specifically. I think it would be a good place for you guys to go.
That's actually something I've been thinking about. Because, and it comes back to like the fan art and stuff like that. Because when you're going through TikTok, and I follow a lot of like book and fantasy novel stuff on TikTok, where they'll show like fantasy worlds or fantasy creatures, things like that. And I would love to, and like you said, like, here's Ogden, here's Salt Lake, here's the canyon, things like that. On TikTok, and get, of like, hey, and just like do some videos with it. I think that would be awesome. I just haven't fully figured out how I want to go down that route, but that's something I really want to do.
I can honestly speak from personal experience. I love TikTok more than anything in the world. I think it is awesome. I love it more than any other social media platform because I feel like I can be more vulnerable on that platform. I have more followers on TikTok than I do literally anywhere else, but that platform itself, you get into a very specific niche of people. And so I feel like for the book, it's going to be a really good place to go, especially if you follow those books or fantasy or dystopian type accounts, because the more you follow it, the more they're going to show up, and then the more your videos are going to show up on their feeds. And so that's the best kind of like target marketing that you could get.
That's true, because TikTok, random things blow up on TikTok all the time.
Absolutely. So if you guys hopped on there and you were like, hey, what's up? This is us. We wrote a book. This is what it's about. Check it out. You know, we'll be doing a series about where all of these different scenes are, and, you know, that kind of thing.
Right.
Anyway,
no, I
that's
think
just
that's
my
awesome.
own.
No, I think that's
my 2 cents for it.
It's something I've thought of. It's something I've thought of over the past couple weeks, and I just haven't been 100% sure on how to take that route. But I've been trying to figure that out.
TikTok is one of the easiest because it's just jump and just do it. Because with TikTok, it's like nobody cares. And I love TikTok so much for that. Because with Instagram, it's like everything has to be pretty and it has to look perfect. And TikTok, it's like, what up, guys? I just woke up. How are you?
Yeah.
Right. A little more chaotic, and people like it for some reason. So.
Man, I live for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's because it's more real than freaking Instagram.
Yes. No, 100%.
Yeah, you're right about that. Definitely.
Awesome. Well, is there anything else that you guys want to add?
I don't know. I mean, just the fact, McCall, that you gave us this opportunity to come on here and you know, allow your viewers to get to know us and help us grow our brand is amazing, and you know, we'll be forever grateful to you for this opportunity. So
yeah, no, for sure. It's like I said, first interview is super cool, and we hope to do a bunch more. Hope to do more with you. Hope to do more, you know, all around with everyone, and just expand our book series and our, you know, the Black Winter label.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I can't wait to see where it goes. And thank you guys so much for taking out the time out of your day. Go check out Black Winter. It's available right now. I got it pulled up on my Amazon right now, so you can check it out from there. Thank you guys again so much for your time.